Today is Tuesday, April 7th, 2020. The time is 2:01 p.m. Calling this meeting to order. First item is Pledge of Allegiance. I'll ask Dina to lead us, please.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let's go to our first item, which is the consent calendar.
I move we approve the consent calendar as listed on our business meeting agenda for April 7th, 2020.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Moving on to the payables list.
I move that we approve the payables for the week of March 30th through April 3rd in the amount of $476,983.17, along with jury panel payments in the amount of $2,047.33.
Was it
I have
33
some
or-
questions about the payables list. I don't know when you want to take that up, Chris.
Yeah, I had gone over the payables list earlier today, and I especially was concerned over the lunches, which for the period of over the period of the 1 week amounted to some $1,531 for approximately 18 to 20 employees. Volunteers. Some are employed, whether that be by the county or other agencies. 6 or 7 are volunteers. Thanks to Julina, who came in to brief us as to why we're paying. I am going to withdraw the proposal that I was going to make that we subject this to review, because Julina has succeeded in convincing me, at least, that everything is done under relative scrutiny, so I'm going to let it go. Leslie, did you care to
Nope,
say
that's
anything here?
fine. Bill, did you have other items?
No, that's it. And if Chris is satisfied, then I'm satisfied also. So I will second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Thank you, Julina. Item number 2, I'm sorry,
First.
do we have any changes to the agenda? And
Yes.
actually, we do. We are adding an item as requested by Kim Riley, which has to do with application for grant money. Kim, would you please comment?
Yes, as part of the CARES Act that was signed into law on March 27th, public transportation received $25 billion. On April 2nd, FTA announced that these dollars would be allocated, and we attended a webinar yesterday with direction on how to access our funds. So we would like to request board authorization to apply for those funds. The reason I would like to have it added is we spoke with the auditor's office, and we would like to code our current payables batch and payroll to the correct account so that we don't have to reclass all of these items later.
Okay.
Well, is that the reason why I couldn't wait until next week?
Yes.
If it waited until next, so Kim, if you would, could you explain what would happen if it waited until the next business meeting? Why that would be a
Well,
problem?
we are trying to follow policy, and we do have emergency policies, I understand, in place. So as long as the board is okay with us coding, the auditor's office has already created an org set. We have pre-award authority back to January 20th of 2020. So we're going to have to reclass everything that has been expensed back to that date. So we're just hoping to not have additional journals necessary for current activity. So if the board is okay with us going ahead and coding current payables batch and the pay period 8 payroll to the new award, then I'm fine waiting for next week for the formal approval of application. We just wanted to bring it all to your attention on the record.
We're just trying to save staff time, and it would be a considerable amount.
Are we going to save staff time if we approve it today?
Yes.
See, my impression is, or at least my opinion is, since we're operating under an emergency disaster declaration, that we should go forward with this today.
It is directly related to the emergency
To the emergency
disaster. I mean,
situation.
disaster declaration, sorry.
That
Also,
sounds
to
sufficient.
clarify, this funding is 100% federal. It takes away all match obligation.
Yeah, council says council indicates it's okay, so with this change to the agenda, why don't we just make it item 1? Simply because, Kim, I think you've already indicated everything you need to. Do you want to add anything
Just
further?
The only other thing I would indicate is that we, just to specify, our apportionment under this is $4,547,613.
And just to be clear, that means that any expenses related to FTA that will, for operations, correct, Kim? We'll be reclassing
Correct.
out
We are
of,
currently, operations, preventive maintenance, and security. All of our ongoing expenses will be covered 100%.
so what we're going to do, and that, the reason we came before you today was moving back from 120 on, I have to reclass every expense out of every grant that qualifies, and we're gonna move it into that new one. So as of today, now because you've said this, she'll be able to code anything, in the past week or whatever to this new grant, and we won't have to reclass it. But just so you're aware, all of those will now be in this new grant and covered under that. So they won't be actually coming out of our other grants.
But today we're approving the grant application.
Correct,
That's
but we've
correct.
already got pre-authorization
Sure.
from them, we just have to go through the process.
Right.
Kim, question, this $4.5 million, is
Yes.
that a ceiling against which we can charge? Or is that actual?
Yes,
Go ahead.
at this time, that is the amount that was allocated for our area. They only had 7 days to do this allocation. So right now, there's no sunset on it. They just have the begin date of January 20, and there's no end date specified. I would anticipate that they will, do additional work on this. That's not very long for the entire, nation. So they made their apportionment. This is how much we have to spend. We're going to be innovative and try to be as supportive as we can of the entire community. With these dollars, anything that would be allowed, but it would take us a long time to spend this much money.
And if I
So
understand,
I don't know what might happen in the future.
are you saying this is $4.5 million for Kootenai County Public Transit?
Yes,
Yes,
with no match. So all of our costs for operations, employees, all of that is 100% covered.
Okay. I don't know what else to say to that. Okay, how would you, I'm sorry?
we're just seeking authorization to apply for the grant. At this point, that's all we need.
Okay, so for the purpose of the motion, what is the grant called?
It's FY 20 CARES Act 5307.
Got it. Okay, if there are no questions, is there a motion?
I move that we approve the grant application for the FY 20 CARES Act 5307.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. And so what was item number 1 is now item number 2, which is development and ground lease AAL 2020-300 for Poe Asphalt Paving at the airport. Stephen Kiergaard?
Yep, Stephen here for the record. This is a brand new lease agreement, a brand new hangar that's going to be going onto the field. It is at 20.3 cents per square foot with an annual lease rate of $3,196.03 for Poe Asphalt.
Okay. Questions? Motion?
I move that we approve the development and ground lease AAL 2020-300 for Poe Asphalt Paving.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Item number 2, Development and Ground Lease AAL 2020-400 Fighter Town LLC at the airport. Fighter Town is in Southern California.
This is just an LLC for
Oh.
this gentleman. This is another actually new lease on the airport as well. This is gonna be a hangar, with a lease lot of, at 20.3 cents per square foot and an annual rate of $2,710.86. As I said, for Fighter Town LLC.
Okay, motion?
I move we approve the development and ground lease AAL 2020-400 for Fighter Town LLC.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Item number 4, Work Order 20-002, Exhibit A, Scope of Work for TO Engineers at the airport. Stephen again.
Yep, Commissioner Snyder again. This is an agreement with TO Engineering for $464,788.39. This is an SNA project, and with this year, it is actually going to be 100% match, as Kim put it, stated. This will actually fall under with the CARES Act as well. This is to decouple the runway 20 and 24 designs area. But as I said, this will actually be 100% match, so we will have no match as part of this project.
Understood.
Stephen, can I ask you something?
Go right
It's
ahead.
Julina. So
Sure.
have we, are we applying for this, or is it falling under the FTA stuff? Because I'm not aware that FAA is applying for anything.
The FAA has its own $10 billion apportionment for airports. About $500 million was allocated to increase all grants this year to be 100% match as part of the CARE Act. The FTA is its own separate thing.
So have we applied for it? Are we applying for it then?
Yep, we've already applied for this grant. This has already gone through the process of an approval, a process with the FAA. It's just they're changing their awards to be 100% instead of 90%.
Okay.
So it's a modification.
It's a modification.
Existing.
Oh,
So no match.
So it's a modification to an existing grant that we've already applied for?
Yep,
Okay.
All right. And what was the amount again, Stephen?
464.
$464,788.39.
Thank you. Motion?
I move that we approve work order 20-002 and Exhibit A for the scope of work for TO Engineers.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Item number 5, Certificate of Substantial Completion, Architects West for Darden Enterprises, Inc., the Coroner Project. Sean Riley for the Board of County Commissioners.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Sean Riley for the record. Normally, I would not ask to have a substantial completion signed off without a certificate of occupancy, but in this case, Darden Enterprises has completed all of their work. We did a walkthrough. There were 2 items on the punch list which have already been completed. The reason we don't have the certificate of occupancy is there's an issue with the fire panel, which I emailed all of you at the last week. We're working on that right now. Basically, we just need to set up a way to have it monitored when there's nobody in the building. But that being said, Darden has done everything that they've done. The architect signed off, and this just allows for the completion of the project and for Darden to get their final pay retention.
Understood. Questions?
Sean, this says Architects West and Darden. Is it both or just Darden?
No, well, Architects West has to sign off on the
Oh.
substantial completion, so I think that's how that got on there. But Darden will be getting the money.
Gotcha.
We're paying Architects West already.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right, I move that we approve this certificate of substantial completion for Darden Enterprises at the, with the Coroner Project.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Item number 6, revised rooftop unit replacement proposal for the jail housing McKinstry, I guess is the contractor, Sean Riley again, for our sheriff's organization.
Okay, Sean Riley for the record again. Last week we had this before you, basically to move or to approve of the 9 RTUs to come out of the 5-year plan. They sent over a signed copy of the agreement to be approved and also threw in 1 year of free maintenance, which is twice a year for all 9 units. So, and just looking at this, I think this is about a $30,000 savings to the county between the low bid and the maintenance agreement that got thrown in. So the previous one did not have the maintenance agreement on it. This one does, so that's why we brought it back.
Okay.
I move that we approve the revised RTU replacement proposal for the jail housing with McKinstry.
I second the motion. I would like it in the future, if instead of RTU, things like that, we could spell it out at least for people at home or people who see the minutes so they can understand what an RTU is.
Rooftop unit.
We could,
I know that.
Okay.
I know what it is, but I wouldn't know that if I hadn't been involved in it. I don't like using things like RTUs when it's just a simple rooftop unit. I second the motion, but I would like that in the future, that people reading the minutes could make heads or tails of what things are.
So noted.
I could certainly do that.
Thank you.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Item number 7, resolution 2020-36, homeowners exemption property tax relief for VA application deadline extension. The assessor, would that be Joe Johns?
Yes, Commissioners, Joe Johns for the record. We're proposing this resolution because the governor ordered an extension of the property tax reduction or circuit breaker program application date from April 15th to June 15th. He also ordered the extension of the 100% disabled veterans tax benefit application deadline from April 15th to June 15th. The problem is that without the homeowner's exemption application deadline also moving to June 15th for applicants of these other 2 programs, we could find ourselves with applicants of these programs not having homeowners exemptions, which would effectively disqualify them in our system. So we're just asking that this resolution be approved so that for applicants of PTR or the VA benefit program, they can receive a homeowner's exemption if they apply between April 16th and June 15th.
Understood.
Hey Joe, it's Julina. Can I ask you a question really quick regarding that? Does that mean that our receiving of our PTR funds is going to be extended as well? Or do you know?
I would have to defer to our PTR program supervisor on that one. So I can get that information to you.
I was just curious because that's something that, if that's the case, that obviously we would need to know as well as the treasurer's office because
PTR being the circuit breaker.
correct, and that's dispersed to our taxing districts, and so it's normally by statute has to be on a certain time and date. So that's something that we would need to send out some type of communication to our taxing districts if that's the case. So just a thought, Joe, if you find that out, if you wouldn't mind letting us know.
Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, it does not involve an extension in when they intend to pay. This is just simply the application deadline.
Understood.
That's on that, so, okay.
Okay. Motion?
Thank you.
I move we approve resolution 2020-36, which extends the homeowner's exemption in correlation with the circuit breaker and 100% veterans property tax relief applications. to,
I second the motion.
maybe to June 15th.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. So item now number 8, discussion of warranty limitations for the Harrison Breakwater contract, Parks and Waterways. Is Nick with us?
Yes, good afternoon, Commissioner. Nick Snyder for the record.
Go right ahead, Nick.
Yes, Commissioners. Thank you, Commissioners. That will delay there. Commissioners, I just wanted to have a discussion referencing some of the warranty limitations to our forthcoming project. The good news is we're going to have a contract finally next Tuesday in front of the board for signature, so that's exciting. But through this process, the Commissioners might recall that we had some budgetary issues when the original bids came in. We had a shortfall in excess of $500,000. So we went back to the drawing board. The Commissioners provided Parks and Waterways a resolution to do some direct negotiation. The good news is we were able to get the project in budget. To do that, however, two things occurred. One being that we, rather than installing new pilings for the breakwater as planned, we are going to use the existing pilings that are currently supporting the existing breakwater to lash the new breakwater to temporarily. So rather than take new pilings and drive them through the center as planned, we'll use some external piling hoops, which essentially just connects to the existing. The warranty limitations on that, Commissioners, from the contractor are certainly reasonable. This has been vetted by Jamila and discussed as well. She understands, which is why I want to have this conversation, is that the contractor building the new breakwater isn't going to warranty the pilings, the existing pilings staying in place. We certainly don't, I don't have any concerns at this time. They've been installed since 2005, and it's what we have. So there is a piling in concern the contract where it simply stipulates, in essence, we're not going to warranty the existing pilings.
Okay.
The second item that is memorialized in the contract forthcoming is that originally our engineers, our coastal marine engineers out of Wisconsin, recommended a 6-inch, an engineering for a 6-inch ice movement. We're unable to do that and meet budget, so we reduced that to a 2-inch tolerance, and again, it's all budget driven. Now, in the past, Commissioner, we have experienced steam erosion through the 6 inches of ice down in Harrison. Ice itself has not been an issue with the breakwater in the past. We've had issues with structural problems because the original breakwater, as you might recall, was not engineered. We feel at least that the 2-inch engineering is adequate. Certainly we'd like to be able to construct a breakwater that was designed to handle 6 inches, but it's just not possible in our budget. So we're at a precipice here where I'm seeking some direction from the board to move forward with our specifications for 2 inches of ice load for moving ice, as our engineer has authored in the specifications. Of course, these will be stamped drawings approved by our engineer before it's constructed, and that the board is aware that we could sustain some damage, just like we could now with any of our structures, and that the contractor would not warranty ice movement specific damage. Now, the contract still does stipulate that a 10-year warranty for workmanship, materials, and the actual construction of the breakwater itself is still warranted for 10 years, but those two items, which are certainly reasonable, and that is they won't warranty the piling, and they will not warranty the breakwater for ice movement in excess of 2 inches.
Okay, Nick.
So, sorry for the long story, but it's important. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick, this is Chris. Okay, but if we do sustain any damage, wouldn't that be a legitimate claim with ICRIM?
You know, I'm going to defer to council on that. My initial response would be yes. I mean, it is owned, it's structured.
There might be a deductible, I understand.
Would happen.
Okay.
Nick, typically your guys are trained in repairing these kinds of things, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and if we don't go ahead with this project, we actually have more liability or more chance of increasing damage with the current unengineered and, I don't know, was it 15-year-old breakwater?
Absolutely, Commissioner.
Okay. All right, I'm fine.
If we choose not to move, yeah, if we choose not to move forward, I just want to put one more thing on the record. If we choose not to move forward, essentially, Commissioners, we would be returning approximately $1.2 million in grant funding and starting from scratch. So I think my recommendation is that we do move forward, get this thing built, because at worst case, we're gonna sustain some damage in the future with ice and water should that occur. But at present, our existing breakwater is sinking, and that would be a much larger issue if we don't replace it. So that's where we're at today.
I'm in favor of moving ahead. Bill?
Yes, I am too.
I'm fine. Go right ahead.
All right.
Motion?
Commissioners, we'll have a contract for you next Tuesday.
Okay. Thank you, Nick.
Oh, that's right, it's discussion. We don't need, okay, no action warranted.
Right.
Okay, thanks, Nick. Last
Thank you,
item,
Commissioners.
last item, public comment. 2:28, meeting adjourned. Thank you.